Listen up, Commander Nation. Is Washington about to blow up the league? Buckle up, because things are about to get wild. The Capitol is buzzing with rumors that sound like total war. First stop, a shark from Philly swimming toward D.C. A young, hungry Super Bowl champion defensive tackle stolen straight from the Eagles' nest? This is pure sabotage. Picture the scene, weakening the enemy by taking away one of its key soldiers while Washington infuses some Razorback poison into the D-line. But what's the real cost? Would they have to remove a defensive pillar to make room for the new blood? Stay put, this is either strategy or suicide. But wait, the madness doesn't stop there. A ghost from San Francisco is on the radar? Adam Peters is digging into his past and is coming for a linebacker with heart and glass tendons. A beast with 120 tackles, a clear-cut leader, but cursed by injuries? Betting on him would be an all-in move. Either the defense becomes apocalyptic or the surgery room claims another victim. And guess who's playing the villain if he breaks down during training camp? And here comes the grand finale. An MVP ghost in the Capitol? Cooper Kupp, the magical 31-year-old receiver, might join the revolution. But his body is a ticking time bomb. Is he the perfect weapon for Jaden Daniels' TO shoot for the stars, or just an expensive patch that falls apart by October? There's no middle ground here. Either Peters cements himself as a genius, or the fans burn him at the stake. And guess what? Vegas odds have Washington as a favorite. This is war, Commanders. Every move could take them to the top, or bury them at the bottom of the NFC East. Ready for the most epic Russian roulette of the offseason? Smash that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and hit that like button. What's coming next will change everything. And only here will you get the inside scoop that no one else dares to reveal. Attention, Commanders! Is another Eagles player on his way to Washington? What's going on here, family? Are you seriously telling me that the Washington Commanders might steal a key player from their division rivals, the freshly crowned Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles? Let me tell you this, if this move happens, Daniel Snyder will be rolling in his grave with envy. Let's talk about Milton Williams, the Eagles' defensive tackle who's looking for a pay raise, and according to reports, Washington could be his next stop. Why? Because the Commanders know that to beat the best, you have to weaken them and hire their own soldiers. Who is Milton Williams? Let me break it down for you. 25 years old, 11.5 sacks in 4 seasons, and his pass rush pressure just keeps growing. And the best part? He's only started 19 out of 67 games. That means this guy is hungry. Hungry for playing time, hungry to make an impact, and hungry for millions. And do you really think Philly is going to pay him what he's worth? With that stacked roster, I highly doubt it. But here's where things get controversial. Jonathan Allen and Darren Payne. Yep, the backbone of our defensive line. Are the Commanders actually considering trading one or even both of them? So now I turn to you, Commanders fans. Is it worth dismantling the heart of our defense for a player who's been riding the bench for a division rival? Here's what I think. If Washington clears some cap space by moving Allen or Payne, and with Johnny Newton already in the mix, Milton Williams wouldn't just come in at a lower cost. He'd arrive with a massive chip on his shoulder. This guy wants to prove himself, he wants to start, and he wants to win. And what better motivation than facing the Eagles twice a year, the same team that kept him as a backup? But hold on! Do we really need another defensive tackle? Our D-line is already one of the most expensive in the NFL. Now, if the plan is to prioritize youth and cost-effective performance, this could be a master move. Or, as they'd say in Philly, a straight-up heist. And here's my final argument. The Commanders need to stop being the NFC East's punching bag. Playing dirty is part of the game. Bringing in a champion like Williams would send a clear message. Washington is no longer the basement of the division. And just imagine this monster lining up next to Johnny Newton. That would be a nightmare for any quarterback. So now I ask you, Commander Nation, would you rather keep Allen and Payne, or take a risk on Milton Williams to inject young, hungry fire into this defense? Are you ready for what I'm about to drop? Because what just landed in my hands could change the franchise's trajectory in 2025. Yep, we're talking about the rumors that Washington is going after Dre Greenlaw, the linebacker from the 49ers. But hold up. Before you start celebrating, I have a question. Is this really worth stepping into dangerous territory? Let's break it down. First, the facts. Dre Greenlaw is, no doubt, a beast when he's healthy. 120 tackles in 2023, 2 interceptions in the playoffs. A guy who can completely change a defense. But let me ask you this, what's the use of talent if the body is made of glass? He tore his Achilles in the Super Bowl, rushed his rehab in 2024, and bam! Another calf injury. Do you really want that in Washington? I'm telling you, Adam Peters must know something we don't. Speaking of Peters, did you know he was in San Francisco when they drafted Greenlaw in 2019? This is no coincidence, folks. Peters knows his heart, his grit, his potential. But he also knows this guy has spent more time rehabbing than actually playing. And yet, he still might sign him. Is this boldness or recklessness? I think Peters wants to prove that his instincts are sharper than the medical reports. And let's talk money. What would Greenlaw cost? If he comes at a discount due to his injuries, it could be a steal. But if he gets paid like a starter and falls apart in training camp, guess who gets blamed? Peters can't afford a misstep in this free agency after a successful 2024. Would he really risk his reputation on a player who could either explode or completely fall apart? But listen to this. Imagine a defense with Greenlaw and Jake Ryan. That would be a nightmare for NFC East quarterbacks. He brings that fire, that aggression, that energy. He's a natural leader. But does his presence in the locker room even matter if his body can't handle 3 straight games? That's the dilemma. So here's my hot take, Commanders fans. Would you take a gamble on Greenlaw? Or stay far away like he's cursed? Washington is on fire. Cooper Kupp to the Commanders? Let me tell you what no one dares to say. Cooper Kupp's name is echoing like thunder in the capital, Commander Nation. Is Adam Peters about to pull off a masterstroke? Or would it be a mistake to bet on a 31-year-old veteran with an injury history? Here's what I'm telling you, Washington is all in, and what happens here could define the Jaden Daniels era. Pros or cons? Let's break it down. Cooper Kupp isn't just any receiver. He's a route guru, a master at deceiving secondaries. In 2023, 737 yards and 5 touchdowns, with the Rams in free fall. Imagine him alongside Terry McLaurin and under Cliff Kingsbury's system. Spread schemes, intelligent receivers. Isn't that exactly what Daniels needs to shine? But, hold up! Time waits for no one. Kupp turns 32 in June, and his body has been unreliable, 14 games missed in 3 years. Risking capital or a precious draft pick for a player who could fizzle out like a balloon by October? Adam Peters is no fool. With $80 million in cap space and 7 picks, every move has to be calculated. The odds don't lie. Washington at plus 650. Vegas has the Commanders as a top 3 contender to get him. Why? They need weapons for Jaden. But what if the Rams release him? That's when things get wild. 32 teams would be lined up for him, and Washington, with a star QB and a rising project, they have an edge. But, is paying with picks a smart move? I say only if the Rams cover part of his salary. Here's the real debate. Is Kupp the perfect complement for Terry, or just an expensive patch? Remember this. Rookies take time to develop. Daniels needs reliable targets now. But aren't there younger options in free agency or the draft? We put our full trust in the GM. After his historic 2024, he knows this move could lift the team or sink it. Kupp would be a vote of confidence in Daniels. I'm giving you a proven weapon, now go fire away. But what if he's on IR by November? This is a Russian roulette, Commander Nation. My verdict, high risk, but with epic reward. Here's what I am saying. If the Rams cover part of the contract and the compensation is a late-round pick, pull the trigger. Kupp still dominates the intermediate zones, and his chemistry with a mobile QB like Daniels could be explosive. But for years at $20 million per season? No way! Peters must drive a hard bargain or look for younger options. Now I ask you, Commander Nation, would you back a trade for Cooper Kupp? Or should Adam Peters bet on young talent in the draft? Commander Nation, we need your voice. Should Jonathan Allen and Darren Payne remain the heart of our defensive line, or is it time to invest in the explosive youth of Milton Williams to shake up the front? Which combo brings more fire and versatility to dominate the NFC East? And let's talk about Dre Greenlaw. Is he the perfect addition to our secondary, or is his injury history a curse we must avoid? Would you trust his leadership, or would you rather look for another piece? The hottest debate. If Adam Peters gets an offer for Cooper Kupp, would you say yes to trading the future for a superstar with injuries, or demand that the franchise builds from the ground up with young draft talent? Defend your stance like true commanders. Comment below and let's keep building the best NFL community. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss a single breakdown, rumor, or explosive news update. This is your home, Commander Nation. Together, we'll make history. Are you ready to be part of the revolution? And remember, hail to the Redskins!